best cars of all time. What are these cars? It could be the iconic BMW E34 or E36. Many would also say the Toyota Mark II or the legendary Nissan Skyline. This title is held by cars like Audi Quattro and of course the American muscle cars of the 60s. There will be a separate video about all these cars. But today I will tell you about a car that also can be called as the best car of all time. Today we have Mercedes-Benz W124. In the past, cars were more reliable, higher in quality, and more durable. Mercedes went all out of the design. The goal was to create the best car. Do you know what model they had when creating the W124? It was the best or nothing. In terms of safety, it was one of the leading cars in the world. At that time, its drag coefficient was the best in its class. The development costs for the W124 were so high that they were barely recouped. The next model, the W210, was the first Mercedes-Benz product that reduced high development costs. Okay, let's come back. The new model was first seen at an exhibition in 1984. A few years later, a coupe modification was introduced, which is still considered one of the most stylish coupes, and I agree with it. The Mercedes with a 220 horsepower engine accelerated from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.8 seconds, and the coupe with 272 horsepower engine accelerated in less than 7 seconds. In the same year, Mercedes-Benz tried to introduce all-wheel drive system. It was called hermetic modification. With it, W124 became a super powerful vehicle. It had 160mm of ground clearance, which sometimes is not even available in modern SUVs. On any surface, this Mercedes felt more than confident. There was also an 8-seater body shape. This body had an extra 80 cm longer wheelbase. It also had 6 doors, an additional full-size row of seats. This is very unique vehicle. And finally, in 1990 they created the most powerful version, the Mercedes 500e. As a fan of this car, I'll try to describe it briefly. They created this car in collaboration with Porsche engineers. It had 5-liter V8 engine with 326 horsepower, and it could accelerate in just 6.1 seconds from 0 to 100 km per hour. Its production was so complicated. The bodies were manufactured at the Mercedes factory, then sent to the Porsche factory, where all body panels were fitted and welding work was done. Then the bodies were sent back to the Mercedes for painting, after which they were transferred to Porsche for final assembly. And again it was sent back to the Mercedes for pre-sale preparation, and then distributed to customers. The entire process took 18 days to create just one vehicle. It had beautiful wider body, also wide low-profile tires. It also had additional fog lights in lower part of the front bumper, a different bumper with spoilers, and different side models. This car costs as much as 2 regular W124s with a 3-liter engine. It was the most stolen car in the world. About 10,500 units were produced over 5 years. Today it is extremely difficult to find an E500 in a good condition. Next, we have an interesting fact that in the movie Taxi, the main bad guys drove around the city in 2 luxurious Mercedes 500e cars. Also in the movie, one of the main characters said to the Mercedes drivers,
Ça passe pas là.
Mais si. Alors les bavaroises, ça marche? Toujours en tracteur?
Mercedes filed a lawsuit against the creators of the movie Taxi, and of course, they won $2 million. The W124 was already an excellent car, with good qualities. That's why many tuning enthusiasts love to modify this car. The brightest example of that time was a project from Brabus, the Brabus E V12 7.3 based on the W124. It had a 7.3 liter engine with 572 horsepower. The V12 engine was taken from the S600 and bored out to a capacity of 7.3 liters, and also with many improvements. This monster could accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 4.5 seconds, and its top speed was 307 km per hour. This W124 could compete with most supercars of that time, even with a 4-speed automatic transmission. The W124 was famous in the whole world. Of course, it wouldn't have been a pity to get such a successful design, and in 1997, 2 years after the finishing of production of the W124, the green company SsangYong somehow managed to persuade Mercedes-Benz to sell the rights to the W124 platform. Under license, SsangYong created their own model based on the W124 Mercedes platform. The German brand Mercedes-Benz aimed for perfection, and it achieved by releasing W124 into the market. 2.5 million cars were sold. If you were to ask me which car from the 90s I would consider the best, I would answer Mercedes-Benz W124.